Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Firstly, Happy New Year. So it's now 2022. Also, I said in my previous video that I still had some more Vlogmas videos to post. Turns out I actually didn't. So that was it for Vlogmas, and this is now the start of 2022. So I thought for my first video of the new year it would be nice for me to kind of look back on 2021, do a little bit of a review of the year, and then also talk a little bit about my goals and my hopes and everything for 2022. And then I think what I might do maybe is at the end of this year is maybe look back on this video and see how far I've come. I think it's a really fun way of kind of marking progress. So I'm going to start by kind of reviewing 2021, and I've sort of split it into a few different sections, a few different categories, and then I asked on my Instagram for people to send in questions, so I will answer those and then I'll talk about 2022. So the first kind of category is health and ME. So, and this category kind of has two subsections of the positives and the negatives. The positive thing is that I feel like I have reached a lot of milestones this past year in terms of my ME since it became more severe in 2019. So obviously, for those of you who don't know, in 2020 I was admitted to hospital in Leeds for 5 months, and I was on a ward which specialises in the treatment of ME, particularly severe ME, so I was able to make quite a lot of progress while I was there, and then since then I've just sort of been continuing that at home. So just to share a few of my main kind of milestones, I've managed my longest car journey. So I managed a car journey of about a half-hour round trip, maybe a little bit more, maybe about 40 minutes, which for me is a massive milestone. It was the longest car journey that I had done since May 2019. So yeah, that was a massive goal and a massive milestone for me. Another was that I was able to go and get my hair done. I actually, in 2021, went to the hairdressers twice. So the first time I just went and just got my hair trimmed and also had a little side fringe put in, just to sort of test the waters a little bit, and I was quite proud of how I managed that. So then quite a few months later I went back and actually had my hair coloured, because I got my hair coloured in 2018 and then wasn't able to get it redone because I became too ill. So yes, being able to go and get a little bit of blonde put back into my hair was massive. I'll put a little before and after picture in here. I was so happy, and that was the longest kind of length of time for sitting up that I had done since December of 2018. So that was absolutely massive for me, and I'm so proud of myself. I certainly suffered afterwards. I had quite a long crash after that, but for me it was totally worth it, and I'm just, yeah, very proud of myself. Still can't quite believe that I managed that. It was really good actually, because there was only one other person there, so it was really nice and quiet, so I was able to kind of move from like the styling chair to my wheelchair and be a bit more comfortable and stuff like that, and kind of rest a little bit. I found actually when I was having my hair washed, because you sort of recline a bit, I actually found that quite nice, and I was kind of able to rest a little bit while I was having my hair washed, so that was really nice. And I've also continued to work a lot on my walking, just kind of slow and steady, I guess, is how I would put it. I think at the moment my kind of personal best. Kind of my general walking distance that I can manage with crutches is around 10 to 20 metres, which for me is a big deal. Hi, this is just editing Becca, just jumping in here really quickly to correct myself. Clearly my idea of distance is completely wrong. I thought that the general bit of walking that I'm able to do was around 10 to 20 metres. Turns out it's actually about 5 metres. Yeah, so I thought that I would still leave that in, but I did think that I should just clarify and yeah, just say that it's actually 5 metres. I think because for me it feels like a really long way. I think I just assumed that it must be at least like 15 metres, but no, it's about 5 metres. But for me that's still massive, and it's still a massive improvement from kind of the stage where I was predominantly bedbound back in 2019 into 2020. So yeah, for me that's still really massive achievement, but yeah. And another thing which happened in 2021 to do with Emmy is that I got an electric wheelchair, which has really benefited me a lot and really helped me to have a little bit more independence. And I will have a full video about my electric wheelchair coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you have any questions about my electric wheelchair, please pop them down in the comments so then I can answer those in the video. So despite all of that, which is all absolutely amazing, the reality of life with Emmy is that you kind of have just as many, if not more, bad days as good days, and I would say that I probably have more bad days than good days. And this past year I've had a lot of pain, and I've had a lot of times of really struggling. I think one thing which I've really particularly struggled with is seeing kind of friends of mine who are younger than me kind of going off to university and stuff, and kind of just seeing everyone going off and doing new things, particularly as lockdown kind of eased and the COVID restrictions eased, so people were going out more, and kind of seeing that and seeing as the world reopened, everyone kind of going back to normal. I found that really hard because while the rest of the world was reopening, the reality for me and so many other people is that actually our world didn't change. We were still kind of stuck in the same situation. Actually seeing other people being able to go out and live their lives and go off to uni and all that sort of stuff, I actually found really difficult, because it's just another reminder of my situation, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of been the negative sides to it. It's definitely not been easy, but I am still really proud of myself and of everything that I have achieved, and I really hope to kind of continue that into 2022, which I'll talk about more in a minute. My next category I've just labelled amazing things. So I've had a few pretty incredible things happen over the past year which have just blown my mind. So the first being so as a lot of you will know, I have a series on my channel called Let's Talk About Chronic Illness, and for a long time I have been a huge fan of Jessica Taylor Behrman, who has written 2 books. She's written A Girl Behind Dark Glasses and A Girl in Warm Room, and she is, if you don't really know who she is someone who is so inspiring to me and so many other people within the Emmy community and beyond. She has suffered from a very severe Emmy, and in her book she talks about all of that and everything, so I definitely recommend reading her books. But anyway, so she's been a massive inspiration to me for so long, and I decided to message her on Instagram to see whether she would be interested in being in an episode of Let's Talk About Chronic Illness. She got back to me and we had a Zoom call and we filmed Let's Talk About Chronic Illness while on that Zoom call, and that was just an amazing moment for me. And yeah, it was just so lovely to be able to talk to her and kind of hear more of her story and everything. So I will link that episode if you want to watch it, and then you can hear a bit more of her story. But yeah, so that was an amazing thing. The other big thing was I got the opportunity to have a Zoom call with Sasha Latoya, Katya Jones and Joanne Clifton, who between them are Strictly and musical stars, and that was just absolutely incredible. We actually we had a really lovely chat, it was really lovely, and then they actually offered to film a video while we were on the Zoom call for my YouTube channel. So again, I will link that, and that was just so surreal. And I talked to them about my little Instagram shop, Becca's Boutique, and they actually gave me the idea to make and sell kind of Strictly inspired hats with like silver sparkly pom-poms and little extra bits of sparkle on them. So that kind of leads me on to my final category, which is YouTube and shop. So as I've just said, I made some kind of Strictly style hats, and that was a really amazing thing. And I actually sent one to Joe, sent one to Sasha and sent one to Katya, and Katya actually got packed wearing hers. It was on the Daily Mail website. Yeah, couldn't quite believe that she was wearing my hat that I had made, so that was amazing. And then YouTube, I reached 100 subscribers, which has been a goal of mine pretty much since I started YouTube back in 2018, so that was amazing and such a huge milestone for me. And then even bigger than that, my knitted stocking tutorial, which I posted in December of 2020, now has over 3,000 views, and it's by far my most viewed video. And when it reached 1,000 views, I couldn't believe it, and then it reached 2,000, and now it's on 3,700, I think, and that's just mind-blowing that that many people have watched one of my videos, and has really given me a lot more confidence and a lot more belief in myself and what I can actually achieve. So yeah, that was a really big moment for me. So that's 2021. I'm just going to find any of the questions that were asked on my Instagram. What was your favourite part of last year? I think probably the Zoom call with Joe and Sasha and Katya, but also my sister moved back home this year. She's been away at uni for 5 years, and she's still at uni. She's doing a different course, but she's doing it in Bristol, so she's living back at home. So that was one of my favourite things of this past year, was having her back home, because I'm really close with my sister. She's my best friend. So yeah, to have her back at home all the time was just really lovely, and I really enjoyed. So I think that's probably one of my favourite parts as well, is getting to see her more and spend more time with her. I have a few goals for this year, which I'm just going to talk through now. So the first one is to continue working on my ME and continue working on like my rehabilitation, which I've been working on over the past couple of years since being in Leeds. So just sort of carrying on with that, just carry on working towards kind of little mini goals with that. So beginning to increase my walking distance, seeing if I can get out of the house a little bit more often, that kind of thing. So that's, yes, one of my big goals for 2022. And another thing which I really want to do this year is to work on being kinder to myself and being kinder to my body. So I'm sure a lot of other people with ME or other chronic illnesses can relate to the frustration that you feel towards your body and your illness, because there's so many things that I really wish that I was able to do, but I physically can't because of my ME. And I spent a lot of time, particularly over the past few years, just being really frustrated and really quite angry and just sort of hating my body because of how incapable it is, if that makes sense. So something which I have already kind of started working on, but I really want to carry on working on, is just learning to be a little bit kinder to my body, and also just being kinder to myself, and learning a little bit more how to kind of say, you know what, it's okay that I can't do something. Just carrying on working on that acceptance, I guess, which is a very difficult thing to do. But yes, so I just want to carry on working on that, which I suppose kind of ties in with the working on my ME, and just sort of, yes, having those little goals, but not being really frustrated if I can't achieve them. Also, back in 2020, I started doing a online hairdressing and styling course, which is, I think, 9 modules long. So over the past kind of year and a half, I've been gradually kind of working on that. So a big goal for me for this year is to finish that and hopefully pass it. So yeah, I think I'm on about module 7 or module 8 now, so I'm almost there. But yeah, that's something which I'm really hopeful to achieve this year. And the final thing is that I want to work on looking after myself in the ways that I can. And what I mean by this is, when you have ME or another chronic illness, there is so much that feels out of your control. So for me, there's just so much about my own life that feels completely out of control and completely out of my hands, because although I try and not let ME kind of dictate my life, it does. And not like in a way that like I'm letting it, but just in a way that it does to an extent, because if I didn't have ME, then I would be living a very different life to what I am. So there's just so much that's completely out of control. So I really want to kind of take back some of that control and take care of the things that I can. So one thing which I really want to do is take better care of my skin. So I want to this year really work on finding a skincare routine that works for me and sticking to it and trying to do that regularly. And the same with my hair. I want to find a real kind of hair care routine that works for me and stick to it and do it regularly. Just to kind of take care of the things that I can. And also I want to work on kind of my self-confidence and my self-belief. So for Christmas, I got Katie Piper's new book, A Little Bit of Faith, which is a book of affirmations, one for every day of the year. So I'm using that as kind of a tool to help me work on my self-confidence and my self-belief, and just take care of my mental health. Yes, those are my goals for this year. Also, coming up this year, I'm going to be turning 21, so that's exciting. So I'm hoping to be able to celebrate that a bit. And yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited to, this time next year, look back at this video and see what of this I've been able to achieve. And with my goal of being kinder to myself and being kinder to my body, hopefully if there are things from this list that I haven't been able to achieve, I will be able to accept it and carry on working on it into the next year. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, please do give this video a big thumbs up, and like I said, leave any comments below with questions about my electric wheelchair, and also any videos that you would like to see this year. And yes, please also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would really mean a lot to me, and I will see you all again hopefully soon with another video.